So question 3A, part 2 and part 3. 2 mark questions, two 1 mark questions, but there's no excuse for getting these wrong. There really isn't by this stage. You should actually now, having gone through, if you go through the pseudocode properly and think these things through, then you should be able to answer the question without checking. Although don't do that, you must check, but you should already have a pretty good idea. So we've got to look at the variable called good input and the variable percentage. So let's go up here and have a look. So we found good input near the top. Set good input to false. Well, clearly that is a Boolean operator. So that's a Boolean data type. If it had, I think most people got that. I think occasionally people have written a string, but if it was a string, it would have said false like that. Okay, so it's false without a quotation mark. So good input is a Boolean. Now percentage, they haven't written it in like they do here from integer keyboard. They haven't put that. They have this is a thinking part. You have to work it out. So staff rates, and we've talked about this at some length now, but I is going to be a value from 0 to 5, and it's coming from the staff rates list. So it would be 105 to start with. So let's say if we had this in the first iteration, it would be staff rate would be 105 divided by 100. Well, I know you don't have a calculator in your exam, but you're all good at maths, so that's okay. So 105 divided by 100 is going to give us 1.05. So in order to be able to store 1.05, what data type do we need? And the answer would be a real. Okay, it can't be an integer because we've got a decimal. So the answer is a real. And I hope you can see that it's not a straightforward question like the Boolean one was. They are testing your ability to understand the pseudocode. Okay, so that's why going through it in the detail that I've gone through it with, it's just so important. And I know that you can do that, and I know that you know the answers. But I think that your thought processes are not yet as developed as they need to be, and that I think is probably why you finishing earlier and wondering why it takes so you need longer. So that would be a Boolean, and this would be a real. Okay. Now, if I quickly show you the mark scheme, you'll see that Boolean was there, and you would have a float would have been accepted. A double is another word for real or float that is used in some other programming languages. So by all means write float if you can't think of the word real, but as a general rule I really want you to write real, because as the course goes through onto a second or third cycle, I think that they will become less tolerant with these specific words rather than the actual programming word. So that is 3A, 2 and 3 data types.